Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, now here's a little addition to my opening line. In beautiful Bristol, Connecticut, home of ESPN Sports Center and home of the country's oldest amusement park, Lake Compounce, here in Bristol, Connecticut. There's a reason I'm giving my hometown location today. And I moved here from a very small town next door. This is a city. The town next door I moved here from Thomaston, Connecticut. And there's a reason I am giving my location this morning. And on my community page, you will find maps about what I'm going to talk about. I was going to talk about Trump's fructoballistophobia. That's a big one, huh? Let this be the word of the day. Fructoballistophobia. Trump's fear of flying fruit, and not only that, but he has a fear of getting hit by pies like Bill Gates did. I'll put the link to Bill Gates getting hit by a pie. I'm still going to do this video, and it's a great freaking story. But I came across another story that just got me in the gut, and I'm going to do that first. So we're going to have to hold off on Trump's fructoballistophobia. We're going to have to hold off on that to the next video. Okay, what do I want to talk about? What got me going this morning? The movie. Dinesh Souza, is that the name? I wasn't prepared for that. 2,000 Mules is opening in nationwide in about 150 theaters. The big lie, and I'm going to talk about more about this. But the reason it got me so angry is because I fear for our country's democracy. We have an arrogant narcissist who was voted as president and just cannot accept losing, period. And I fear for our democracy that millions of people actually believe this nonsense. Okay, so there's this movie by Dinesh Souza, one of the Trump butt kissers, called 2,000 Mules, and it's opening nationwide. And at first I was like, oh God, I know there's freedom of speech, but at first I was like, this is, you can't, putting something like this in the nation's country, in 150 theaters across the country, what is that going to do to our democracy? People are lose faith in our democracy because of this lying narcissist that can't accept losing. But I changed my mind on that. Let them put it in the theaters, because I actually read the proof that's in 2,000 Mules. And it turns out I'm a super mule. All right. Okay, so I'll have all the links. That I didn't watch the movie, but I read all the descriptions about it. Now the proof that's in this movie, 2,000 Mules, is they have geophone tracking data that they bought. True the Vote, I think it's called. And they bought random data from millions of cell phones. And if these cell phones in certain swing state locations, they track the data. And if a person with a cell phone came within 100 feet of a voting drop box, between October 2nd and November 3rd of 2020, and also passed by within 100 feet of a nonprofit in that same period, then they were considered a mule. They were going to stash houses, and they were bringing back ballots and loading fake ballots into these election boxes. This is their proof. These random phone tracking data. Okay, now I lived in Thomaston in 2020. I actually have a video from election day of 2020 where I'm standing outside the police station in City Hall in the parking lot, and I did a video. If you go back to November 3rd, 2020, I'm actually filming people pulling up in their cars during the pandemic and dropping off votes in the drop box. On my community page, you guys know I've talked about this every day. I talked about them yesterday. I talked about the day before. My walks every day as part of my recovery. I do a lot of exercise, biking and walking every single day, year round. I have mountain biked in the snow. I walk in the snow. On my community page, I will show the exact track. I got pictures of me on my bike going past these places. I pass by each of these places every single day with I carry my bike on my phone on my bike every single day. On my walk, it depends if I make this video with my camera or with my cell phone. If I make it with my cell phone, which I do about 10 times a month, I have to let it recharge. But I'm usually carrying my cell phone, and I pass by these election boxes easily 2 to 4 times every day throughout the entire month. That would be 60 times a month at minimum. And I passed by, now I looked up the nonprofits, and I had next door is a boys club, which is a nonprofit. The methadone clinic, which I've talked about in this video, which I went to, the methadone clinic that saved my life, nonprofit. I've gone there. I work with addicts there. I painted murals there. I go by there every single day. It's on my way to other places that I'm going. If I don't go directly into it, there's vaccination sites. There's the United Way. I pass by all these nonprofits. Now, in this video, in this movie, they don't name the specific nonprofits. They're just supposed stash houses. So if these millions of geo-tracking data pass by within 100 feet, or I think it's 100 feet, of one of these mysterious, anonymous nonprofits, and also pass by 100 feet of election drop box. Now, both these election drop boxes, and I'll have the tracking from Google Earth on my community page so you can see what I'm talking about. Both of them, in both towns I lived in, it's right outside the police station, which is out right next to the city hall. Now, when I go on my walks and my bike rides every day, I've talked about this, I see the same exact people going to work and walking their dogs, whatever, every single day. Not just me, but there's hundreds of other people that walk by these same locations every single day. Are they all mules? Are they all super mules? This is ridiculous. Some of the other supposed evidence they have in this movie is they have a video of somebody at night, and they have the creepy music and the grainy video, and somebody's wearing I think they're wearing protective gloves. It was November 3rd, 2020. Like I said, the people dropping off the ballots were in cars pulling up. You remember what it was like back then? So seeing somebody wear protective gloves, dropping off, opening up this box that hundreds or thousands of other people are opening up and putting their stuff in there, I'm not too surprised by that. There's another claim that they have a video, grainy video with the music, the creepy music of a man, I think it's in Georgia, putting 5 ballots in the drop box. Well, this guy was investigated, and it was confirmed that he was dropping off a ballot for him and his 4 adult sons. Confirmed. They investigated it. Every one of these claims is crap. They also they allege that this exact phone data, they helped catch a child predator. I think it was in Florida or Georgia. The links will all be down below to this, so you can read it for yourselves. They claim that they gave the Truth to Vote gave this data to the FBI, and the FBI caught this predator, except this predator was arrested in August, and they gave the information 2 months later in October, I think it was. This is all in the links down below. You can see this. So it's a flat out lie. So when I first saw this, I got angry. These theaters, Cinemark, I think it's called, putting this big lie in all these theaters. But then I really started thinking about it. And the only people that are going to believe this are going to be the people that want to believe it. Like I go back to the flat earthers, like the flat earth people. If you want to believe the earth is flat, I mean, I can go onto a mountaintop or a high place around here and look out and say, look, I don't see any curve. Or when I've flown in airplanes hundreds of times, I don't see the curve of the earth. The earth must be flat. I got my own eyes, If you want to believe something, I mean, you could use your own. You could say, look, I see this with my own eyes, and you can believe whatever you want if you want to believe something. But if somebody goes into this theater and watches this movie, from everything I've read, and just uses any amount of common sense, like I said, I would be considered a super mule, according to these people. Supposedly, they eliminated all the people, supposedly. Now, if this is anonymous data, I don't know how they could do this, but they said they eliminated the people, that like the postmen or the people that worked, they eliminated those people somehow. And only the suspicious people, and this is all anonymous, so how they know who's suspicious or not, I have no idea. I imagine I would be suspicious. On rainy days, I don't ride my bike, so maybe, this guy's going by this time, I'd be a super mule, along with dozens of other people I see every day. And this was in the town during the 2020 election, back in the other town that I lived in. I'll have the maps on my community page. It shows my exact track on my when I walk and I take my bike ride. Both when I take my walk and my bike ride, I take this path, this particular part of the walk and bike ride, I share with both trips. And I go right by the drop box, within 5 feet of it. I ride on the sidewalk here in town. I ride on the sidewalk between the police station and the town hall, underneath a walk, off the sidewalk, right. I have to steer around the election box and onto the road and then to my place here. And like I said, I go by these suspicious nonprofits like the Boys Club and United Way and the Methadone Clinic. I go by these stash houses every day too. This is what 2,000 Mules is about. This is their proof. So you know what? Good for them. Let them put it in the theaters. Anybody with any common sense that isn't committed to the big lie, that has any reasoning ability at all, will see that there's millions of people like me that this film is calling mules. I was part of the big lie. I must have been, because I passed by these two places every day. Ridiculous. Let them show this movie. Only the people that are brainwashed and committed to the big lie are going to believe it. Just like the people that believe in the flat earth or, believe in fairies. Same thing. Donald Trump won the election and fairies. All right, you guys have a good Tuesday. I'll be back with Fructo ballistophobia in the next video.